right away.
if you want to. Do you need my phone to put it on Twitter? Do you need my phone to put it on Twitter? Do you need my phone to put it on Twitter? Pass it down. Put it there. Painkiller. Pass it down. Put it there. Painkiller. Pass it down. See? Teamwork. Teamwork. Know how to get out. It's perfect. Teamwork. Know how to get out. It's perfect.
Chat.
I'm sorry, my eyes ain't that good, bro. I'm sorry, my eyes. You think I'm eagle eye?
I can.
You think I'm eagle eye?
I can.
You think I'm eagle eye?
I can.
You think I'm eagle eye?
Oh, really there? Oh, that's big.
Is that better?
Oh yeah.
That's fine.
That's big.
Is that better?
Oh yeah.
If they're
Echo.
already live, I just want to make sure that it sounds good.
Oh yeah.
If they're
WG.
already live, I just want to make sure that
But-
it sounds good.
Oh wow, insults coming in already. Thanks, appreciate it. Wow, insults coming in already. Thanks,
When?
appreciate it. I know.
Maybe.
Insults coming in already. Probably
When?
something. I know.
Maybe.
All right, we'll get started in a second. Don't worry. All right, we'll get
It says
started in a
there's
second. Don't
echo,
worry. All
Oh, I
guys.
see.
right, we'll get
It says
started in a
there's
second.
echo,
Don't
Oh,
worry.
I
guys.
see. Okay, just test the mic.
Yo, yo, yo.
Hello, hello.
Testing.
Okay, sounds good. Let me post it on Twitter.
W wife.
I'm
That person's praising you. They're saying W.
Just start.
Yeah, okay.
Сколько мы будем говорить?
I know.
What?
I'll be doing this the time
Okay.
it goes quick. Ready?
Yeah.
Coming to you live from Sunny Isles, Florida. See, Sunny Isles is not just Florida. It's the best suburb in Miami by far. That's why Trump got a whole bunch of buildings here. Anyways, last time I talked to you guys, I gave you Malik Obama. Last time I talked to you guys, I gave you a lot of information about politics. Today, I got people who are a lot more attractive than Malik. I'm sorry, nothing personal, Malik. I love you, brother. Yeah, Malik is a 5 pad, though. He's done his thing. Anyways, hello? Who are you? Introduce yourself.
Привет, меня зовут Айгулечка.
Okay, we'll take that. And who are you?
Hi, I'm Peyton, and I'm in natural health and medicine.
Okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about a wide variety of topics. But the first thing I wanted to do is get my guests a little opportunity to talk about themselves. And maybe, what is that rock right there?
This is an amethyst, and it's from Sedona, Arizona, one of the
What do you-
most magical places
is-
in the world.
Is it like self-defense if anyone comes near you,
Well, yeah,
you
it's
take
a
them
weapon.
out?
I actually got stopped in TSA bringing this over here. I
Really?
almost didn't make it, yeah.
Wow.
But amethyst is connected to the crown chakra, and it helps the immune system and to clear the mind.
Considering most people don't know what chakras are, would you kindly explain what the chakra system is?
There are energy centers throughout the body, and they're represented by different colors and different areas of life and your personality and the way that you think. And so there's white at the top, purple, blue, green, rainbow, so you can guess what the next ones are. Orange, yellow, red at the root. And you talk about the root chakra a lot on
A
Twitter.
lot of
Yeah.
people are kind of stuck down there.
Yep.
And, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a lot of people stuck on that root chakra. And, when I talk about root chakra people, I'm talking about simps. I am talking about the people who actually pay women on OnlyFans. Now, you don't have an OnlyFans account, correct?
Correct.
Okay, you don't have an OnlyFans account, correct?
No, sir.
Okay,
I have
so you,
PG-33 Academy, though.
there you go. So you have very attractive women who don't make their money that way. But see, there are women who I consider, by the way, drug dealers. To me, women who are actually selling their bodies, naked pictures, or even worse, and they're making money off it, that's kind of like drug dealing. And if you think I'm wrong, tell me.
No, not at all. Sex can be considered a drug, too.
Okay.
So there
People
you go.
can be addicted to it, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you have women who are making 2, 3, 4 million a month on OnlyFans, you have basically a society, an underbelly, who doesn't even know how to talk to women. Hi, how you doing? They're scared to say that. Because, sometimes you see a big, intimidating guy and all of a sudden, oh no, I better not say anything. He might kick my ass. Mm-hmm. But sometimes people see a woman, it's like, oh my God, what do you do?
Right.
I mean, you've seen that.
Absolutely.
How many times have you seen a guy just come up to you and be like, oh, how you do? And he just starts stumbling and
No, I think they're just afraid to come up a lot of times.
they're intimidated?
Yes.
What about you?
Absolutely, all the time.
So what you have is men like that who are actually intimidated to talk to women like you, and others out there. Instead, they're going to go on their computer and they're going to give some woman $20, $30, $40 so they can have some kind of sick psychological attachment to them.
Yeah.
And this is what we call simps, because they basically go out there and they basically provide money, but they're never going to have a family. They're never going to have anyone who loves them. And basically, I think that's not healthy. That's not a healthy way to live. We have a problem in society when 40%, and I think the number is going up every single year, 40% of men don't have kids.
Really?
40%. Yet, what is it? 79, about 78% of women do have kids. So, I mean, if you do the math, you understand that women as a whole would much rather be one to a high value dude than one to nothing. Now, hey, I'm just keeping it real here. If you have nothing in your pockets, you're fucked.
As a man.
No, 100%. As a man.
Yeah.
If you're a woman, and by the way, female privilege, I'll call it out right there. Because as a woman, you could be broke and you can still do things, right?
Yeah.
As a man, if you're broke, I don't really know what you can do. I even think there's something worse than being broke. Being stupid. Because a smart person will somehow claw his way out of poverty in a capitalistic society. If you're in a socialism, communism, sorry, what I'm saying. What is a 1% man in a communist society? Is that someone who works for the government? I mean, you can't have money in a communist society, so what the hell is actually a high-value dude in a communist society? It has to be someone who actually works for the government. Maybe a police officer in that case, he has power over others. Because if you're all broke, what's the point?
Right.
And going back to what I was saying, Peyton, what would you say to the 40% of men out there who are actually scared to talk to someone like you? I don't know what to say. What advice would you give them?
Well, man to man, I feel like you'd have better advice, but all I would say is...
Oh, I wouldn't say kind things. I don't have problems like that. I never did. So, go ahead.
I think they should try to come up, and if they come up enough times, they'll succeed.
So you keep putting that thing out there, and eventually something's gonna happen, right?
Yes. Why sit on the computer and just pay those girls?
Well, it's more normalized now.
Yeah, they have to.
I mean, 40% of guys
go
do
out
it.
There. Well,
The same 40% who never have kids.
It's a loss.
And that's terrible for society. I'm going to tell you why. Because when 40% of men don't have kids, that means we don't have enough children to basically sustain a population. Old people get older. Trust me, I know. People get older. And once you get older, you need young people to replace you. So basically you need 2.1, kids per family. If 40% of men are not having kids, that basically tells you you have no choice but to open the borders. I mean, a lot of people don't like that. But if 40% of men are not having babies, someone has to work. Someone has to buy into the system. And if someone has to buy into the system, there's only one natural way to do it. Open the Rio Grande up. Mm-hmm. You understand now why they have open borders? See, the Democrats will tell you they want them as voters. The Republicans, they want cheap labor, so they're not going to say anything either.
Right.
So it's like one hand washes the other. It's always like that.
I was gonna say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's the only thing I could tell a man, because why is he gonna take advice from me when he's afraid of me?
Well, what do you think? I mean, listen, men are basically scared to do what they did back in the day. Okay, they're just scared to do it. I don't. How do you fix this? I mean, how do you fix this pandemic of beta males? Because I personally think one of the biggest problems in people who are beta males is they were raised by single mothers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, for instance, if there's no man in the house, how are the kids going to have any masculine energy around them? Then they'll probably end up being soft, beta, or maybe LGBT. Who knows? Like, let's not forget, a lot of those kids who are LGBT, it's Pride Month, we might as well bring it up. A lot of those kids who are LGBT had no father in the house. That's a fact. That's a fact. But again, 40% of males much rather go on OnlyFans, listen to this, and say, you know what, F it. This is what I'm going to tell you guys. Stop listening to everybody else. You listen to everybody else, you're going to screw yourself. No one who's actually made anything in life did it on someone else's formula. Everyone who did it, everyone who made it, they might have followed the path, but then they had a little wedge here, little wedge here. Follow the same path, but go a little bit. Never follow someone's advice 100%. You have to take your intuition to it too. I mean, hell, women know more about that intuition thing than I do.
Facts.
It is what it is. Anyways, one of the things that people have to understand when they look at the big picture of everything is you have to at least try. Just like Peyton said, just as, what are we calling you?
5.
5? Okay, so say someone is a 5. What does that mean?
That means travel, freedom, beauty. Sex.
Beauty. So have you, as a 5 life path, have you had a lot of men come up to you, be like, hi, wow, you're beautiful?
A few.
A few? Just a couple.
She's
Just
being
a couple.
humble.
She's being That's not something she learned from me. I promise you that. Anyways, Peyton.
Hi.
When it comes down to men, how many actually that approach you actually have a chance?
Why are you asking if they have a chance?
Chance to actually take you on a date, or are you gonna blow them off? Be like, no. Do you know right away?
I scan the room before I go anywhere, so if anybody's worthwhile,
Mhm.
I'll already have them in my peripheral.
See, she's honest. She's telling you right away.
Yeah.
She's telling you exactly what it would be.
Yeah. First glance at somebody, I can know how I feel about them, like, through and through. Also, because of body language and posture, that tells how confident somebody is.
Mhm.
So even if they're just standing from afar, I can tell if I'll like them or not without talking to them.
When it comes down to it, have you seen a lot of women who basically think the same way as you?
I think on a subconscious level, they have somewhat of an understanding, but I haven't met many who actually know why they feel that way. So me talking to other women, if I were to ask them, hey, do you do this? They'd probably say, no, not really. But on an unconscious level, they are doing it. Yeah.
5, any words of advice?
I don't know about what.
All right. Come here, baby. Come here, baby.
About that.
See, you have to understand, this is her first podcast, and she's a little nervous.
Yes.
But when it comes down to it, she is definitely a 5. So what you have to understand about 5s is if you're going to be with someone who's a 5, you have to be actually entertaining. 5s like to be entertained. They like to travel. And that's exactly what she's always done, because I always travel. You have to understand who you're dealing with in numerology and astrology. Peyton,
Absolutely.
you're born on the 22nd. People who aren't born on the 22nd like to build things.
Yep. Absolutely.
If you see a guy, you're going to be interested if he can actually build a future, correct?
100%. We were talking about this yesterday. Yeah.
See, this is the beauty of numerology and astrology. It's way above psychology. Absolutely, to different degrees. Listen, I'm no model, and I was able to pull her. And the fact of the matter is, it came down to numerology. Exactly. It comes down to numerology and astrology, and I knew exactly what type of woman would be loyal. I knew exactly what type of woman would have basically be a good mother. I knew exactly those things because of my knowledge of numerology and astrology. We've been together for almost 20 freaking years. I've known you for 20
Wow.
years. That's insane. It's like, where did the years go? But when I told you what I was going to do when I first met you, did I not do everything I said I was going to do?
Yes.
And see,
You did.
this is what it comes down to. You need someone who has a plan. I had it. I basically said I was going to shove numerology and astrology down everyone's throats. And I said I was going to do this in 2001. We met in 2004, which was my 5-year cycle. Again, I met a 5 in a 5-year cycle. So the matrix is always there. Just like I knew I would, by the way. Just like I knew I would. And when it came down to it, no, it wasn't easy all the time, was it? How many people told you I was crazy?
Well,
Quite a few.
I trusted you. I believed in numerology.
See, she trusted me, and this is what women, you have to understand. If you're actually very spiritual, if you actually have a good heart, you're going to have good intuition, agreed?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if you have good intuition, you're going to be able to find the right person. Ladies, this is really important for you because, when it comes down to it, a man's beauty is his wisdom. Remember, fuck what Andrew Tate's telling you. A man's beauty is his fucking wisdom. And a woman's wisdom is her beauty. Correct?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so again, we have intelligent women who are telling you the same thing I'm telling you. Because I'm going to keep it real. If you're a broke dude, you still have a chance. Hell, I was a broke dude. She'll tell you that. I pulled her when I was broke. Okay? I'm going to say this again. I pulled her when I was broke. You guys are all these pimps out here who think you guys know what the hell you're doing. You don't know jack shit. When I was 20 years ago, 2 decades ago, I knew exactly what to say to exactly whatever woman because I knew psychology of astrology and numerology. And I never abused it.
And all this
Karma.
years, you
What's
knew
that?
what to say.
I'm good. Okay. I'm good. So here's what I'm telling you guys. You have to have a plan in life. It doesn't have to be numerology and astrology. That's just what I decided to do. And by the way, don't do what I do. You're not a 33. Okay? It's not going to work for you. What worked for me is not going to work for you. And by the way, what works for you is not necessarily going to work for me. That's how life works. I'm not the best boxer in the world. I'll knock someone out, but I'm not the best boxer in the world. There's plenty of people who can bench more than me. There's plenty of people who know a lot more things about science and computers and all that stuff. Find whatever your niche is and don't just work on your weaknesses. Okay? I'll give you an example. You always find people who cover your weaknesses. You work on your strengths.
Yeah.
Because whatever your strength is, you want to take it right here. Work on whatever your strength is. And whatever your weaknesses are, find people around you who cover. Example, I'm no fucking beauty queen. I got her. See? See how that works? So people have to understand, always follow simple rules. Peyton, when it comes down to it, what advice would you give guys when it comes down to? No, I'm being serious because people want to hear it. Women are going to ask your advice all day.
Yeah.
But how many times is an actually attractive woman going to be honest and tell the audience what she thinks? And I'm putting you on this. Exactly. So that's why I have you here. What would you tell guys if they basically are lost when it comes to women?
I think if they're confident in who they were outside of women, I think the success with women would translate. Because men need to have a purpose beyond women. And I think a lot, like the 40% of guys who don't have families or they also lack purpose.
Do you think those 40% of guys are humble?
Humble?
Yeah.
I don't know what they have to be humble about.
Exactly. That's good. What I mean by that is the people at the top of the food chain, do you think they're humble or do they have egos?
They usually have an ego. An ego is what carries their confidence to be at the top of the food chain.
But some people have that ego because they earned it, okay? Some people have that. The problem with society today, and I swear to God, it kills me. A lot of people have egos. I have no idea where they got it. I mean, you think they went to the store and paid for one. Like, where are these receipts coming from? Okay, so that's what I don't understand. A lot of people have egos in the world. They have not accomplished anything. Hell, you can't even get a girl not to cheat on you, dog.
Yeah.
And by the way, do you think alpha males have women who constantly cheat on them? Do you think it's possible to be an alpha male and to have a woman who consistently cheats on you?
No.
Not usually, no.
No.
Definitely not.
No. So again, you know, I've heard a lot of shows about women and how they're getting trashed on every the whatever podcast or Fresh and Fit. They basically bring broads on with 90 IQ levels, you know, and who probably tits way more than their IQs, and they're basically on there getting trashed. And again, women who have, you know, kids out of wedlock who are whoring around, yeah, I get it. But there's also guys out there who are not actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. Being a pimp, being the man, does not mean having 4 or 5 girlfriends at 45 years old. It means having kids to raise.
You know, I've been told by a lot of guys in the mid to upper 20s and mid 30s, they think they feel almighty for having multiple women. Like, that is a very common ideology that's present right now.
I think it's always been present.
It's being, I guess social media makes it seem more present.
I think it's always been present.
Uh-huh.
I think most guys have always been pigs. I think society started cracking when the women started doing the same thing. I think that's when society, it didn't matter if guys were always pigs, because if women didn't do anything, the guys didn't even have the opportunity to do it. That's That's why in some cases they have in Sharia law, because they say men are weak to the flesh, and they have women covered up in burqa. I'm being dead serious. This is why they do it.
It's so hot here, though.
Of course. And think about how hot it is in Iran. They have them in full hijabs
I always
in
think
Iran.
about it, how they wear those.
And they're usually black too. It's
Yeah.
like, God damn. Listen, I'm not saying that's the way. I'm just telling you guys that is what it is. Guys have always been weak to the flesh, at least most of them. And I got to tell you, I think it's only when the women start having their sexual revolution in the 1960s, sponsored by the CIA, that everything started going to hell.
So you think it's worse because women have opened themselves up to it?
Yeah, of course. 100%. Because when men have always been doing it,
Right.
like, regardless, I mean, it's very, like, I would say about 70%, but, like, women back in the 1930s, 1940s, they were shamed for it. Like, you were actually shamed for that type of stuff. So if you're going to be shamed by your peers, things are going to happen. Things are going to be different. They didn't really have abortions too much back then either.
That guys were shamed too.
When?
Well, for example, in Soviet Union, if you cheated on your wife, they would put you on some
Men?
kind of
Men?
Yeah. They would
What was
shame
this?
at work. Yes.
Really? Men?
Yes.
You're going to have to show me this.
I'll show you.
Actually, if this is real, I'd like to
It's
see it.
social media that.
I've never seen this in my life before. That men got shamed. Women got shamed throughout history.
Yes.
Women have been
At
shamed
work.
throughout history, but I've never seen a men shamed.
That he is.
They're actually cool if they
destroying
do
the
that.
family, all that, you know.
Were they very religious?
No, it's Soviet Union.
So it wasn't religious at all.
No, that was when communism in communism.
Communism, of course.
Yes,
1922 until 1991.
they would even release them from work, like.
They put him in gulags.
No, not gulags, but they would fire them.
Oh,
Or,
okay.
yes.
So they would shame. Okay. So we have
It was
one
shameful.
example in history and
Well, maybe
thousands
not in here.
and thousands
Sorry.
thousands of examples through in the history the other way. The whole point is when the women started doing the same thing, that's when it got utterly worse, and that I blame the system for.
I agree.
That I blame the government for, because that's what they wanted to do. When because you got to think about it. There's so much corruption in government today. It would never have happened in the 1950s and 60s. Why? Because you had a strong family unit. Now that the family unit is completely destroyed, no one's going to hold the government in check. So the government is free to steal more and more and more. And that's why they actually offer women more money to get divorced. If you get divorced, you get more money. Why do you think they basically want women to get divorced? All these movies, all these songs, what do you think? It's all by coincidence? Every single huge song by Taylor Swift or someone else, it's about breaking up, you know, or Beyonce getting rid of her man or something like that. It's all subconscious. They want you guys to do it.
It's horrible.
But the other side ain't helping too much either, is it?
So can I ask you,
Go ahead.
there's a lot of men who are, at least on Twitter, will flex like pictures of them with multiple women. As a man, I mean, I know you're married and you're very loyal, so you're a different breed, essentially, but if you can put yourself in the shoes of a man who's maybe different from you, what's going through their mind when they see another man with multiple women? Are they thinking, oh, that's cool, or...
Basically trophies. That's what it is.
And are they basing their thought off of how quality the girls are? So like if there's like 6 out of 10s but there's multiple, does that mean, oh, that's cool? Or is it...
I mean, if a girl is a virgin, that's the top prize.
Of course.
If after that, it'll probably go, you know, if she's considered a dying piece, or, you know, she's considered, oh my God, no one can get to her.
Right.
There's some people, I mean, hell, when I first got married to her, I used to go to clubs and they'd hit on her in front of me. I'm like, some of you motherfuckers are bold as hell. So you know, I remember like when I was young, I had trouble taking you out because I'm almost gonna fight every time. I was a little different back then, man. I would actually drink alcohol a little bit.
Stop going out.
Yeah, exactly. We stopped going out. Exactly. Hey, keep it real. But going back to what you were saying, listen. When it comes down to guys, they want conquest. I'm more about family.
Yeah.
Some guys are going to be about family. But when you have propaganda out there on movies, yo, I got this many bitches on the team and all this other stuff. I mean, I got to be honest with you. My mother and her, that's enough. I don't need any more women. As a matter of fact, I tell my son every single day that he only has to listen to 2 women in his life. His mother and his wife. It is what it is, okay?
I think that's fair.
That it is what it is, and you need male leaders in society. I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. It might take some time. Sometimes it might even take a decade, but I'm gonna do it, okay? I'm gonna do it. You guys need to be the same way. But see, that's the problem with you betas out there, man. You don't have any backbone. You just all talk. You don't actually believe in what you're saying. You know, a lot of these frauds out there actually do give one good, solid piece of advice. Even Patrick Bet-David says it. He said, fraud it until you do it. You know, some people actually take pictures with expensive cars because they visualize this is going to be me soon.
Yeah.
I never needed to do that. I always believed in myself. But if that works for you, so be it. Whatever it works for you, find that motivation to do something. Because, you know.
How do we draw the line between, like, fake it till you make it, so you do make it, and then also...
By not lying to people.
Right.
By not lying to people. That's how you do it. If you take a picture with an expensive car, and you're saying, yo, I'm on my way, you're not actually lying about anything.
Right.
But if you actually say, yo, I just fucking dropped fucking 300 bands on this, what's good? And you just took a picture, now you're lying.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's what I consider the difference. And believe me, like a lot of these so-called pimps and all these people who are selling their handbooks and how to get broads and stuff like that, you know, they've been cheated on over and over and over. It was like a numerologist I was dealing with back in the day. She was divorced 3 times, and she's selling matchmaking advice. Allison was her name. And I asked her, Allison, don't you think that's kind of fraudulent? You've been divorced 3 times, and you want to sell matchmaking advice based off numerology and astrology? And she's like, no, of course not. I have more experience than anyone else. Oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. But you know, that's at that point, that's when I stopped listening to anyone else. You want to hear another funny story?
Yeah.
Even my critics now are pricing everything in 8s. You know, the War Room pays everyone.
I've been seeing so many of those in the 28.
Of course.
People
You know the War Room pays everyone on the 28th?
I think I saw that tweet.
Yeah, interesting how that works. So everyone's using this system. Absolutely everybody, okay? I talked to a numerologist in 2002, maybe a little bit later, 2, 3, maybe somewhere around that area. And I asked her, I'm like, listen, 8's the number of money, right? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, well, how come you're pricing your products in like 75 and 25? How come not 35 and 80?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I hear silence for about 45 seconds. I think the phone's on. I'm going, hello? I think something's wrong with the phone. All of a sudden she's like, wow, I never thought about that. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, bitch, you've been fucking at this for fucking 40 years and you never thought about that once? Fraud. Fraud. But, you know, so are a lot of you men out there. I don't even want to call you men. You're frauds. You're absolute frauds. First of all, I want to make this abundantly clear. If you want intelligent kids, you have to have your kids breastfed. If you want intelligent kids, you have to have your kids breastfed. Baby, did you breastfeed our kids?
Yes.
Yes. And you did it for a long time, didn't you?
6 years altogether.
That's
6 years.
impressive. Yeah.
2 kids, 6 years. Now, why was she given the opportunity to actually breastfeed? Because you didn't actually have to work, because your man actually provided enough money
Yes.
for you to stay at home and take care of the
And
kids.
help
Oh, what a evil misogynist man I am. I forced my woman to stay at home so she could breastfeed. Tell everyone I'm an evil person. No. The fact of the matter is, kids who are breastfed are a lot smarter. So it's up to you men to earn enough money. Am I wrong here?
No.
To make sure the woman can stay in the damn house and breastfeed the kids. Because let me tell you something, if you love your kids, you're gonna have to find a way. God knows I did. What do you think? I was fucking always rich? I was broke as hell. By the way, I had a felony record, couldn't even get a job. I had a felony record for knocking out a cop. And by the way, when I run for president, that's gonna get me half the black vote. I promise you, that's gonna give you half the black vote. But here's the thing, guys. You have to step up. You guys have to step up and provide enough value in any way, shape, or form. If you are a trash man, then and I'm being dead serious. If you're collecting garbage, then go into the best city in the world where they pay the most and collect garbage there.
Yeah.
I don't care what the fuck you do. If you're an assassin, be the best assassin you can be. That's your job. Be the best you can be. If you're the best of the best, I promise you the money will come. I don't care what the fuck you do. I don't fucking, if you catch dogs for a living. And by the way, that's going to happen in 2024 Dragon Year.
Yeah.
Woo! But just be the best at whatever you do. The money will come. And if the money comes, for most men, if they actually earned it, confidence comes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Have you noticed that the trust fund babies don't have much confidence? See, you can have money and still be a beta.
They end up blowing it because they're not confident and they need a solution, so they'll sabotage what they have in order to gain confidence by trying to fix their problem. So they burn it all and they're like, they're in a hole and then they're like, I need to dig my way out. This is how they build their confidence.
Yeah.
But it comes at such a risk. Like, it didn't have to be that way.
I basically have seen in my life, with few exceptions, there's always exceptions. There's always exceptions to every rule. Okay? I have seen with the people who've actually been poor and got to be rich, they have much stronger work ethic. They have much stronger desire, hunger than the kids who are born with money and either lost it or still have it. They just have that hunger. And that's what sets the billionaires apart from the millionaires. Some of the people who become millionaires, they lose the hunger. Oh, I got mine. I got mine. Fuck this shit. I got mine. But see, other people, they're not like that. And those ones are rare. Other people, they're like, you know what? We're going to double down. We're going to push more. You know, 22 million Americans are millionaires. About 330 of us. So 22 million Americans are millionaires.
That's a good number, 22.
Oh, what's that over there?
People were saying haram earlier.
Haram about
it's
what?
This bottle. What does it look like to you? What kind of bottle is this look like
That's
to you?
water.
Yeah.
That's water.
Drink water around
there's
here.
we do not drink here. Okay, I'm not Muslim. I don't think you are. You had something to do with that in the right? Okay. Maybe not. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Anyways, listen, I believe in a lot of what Muslims preach. I really do. Because to be all honest, what I tell people all the time is, people over there, they have a certain code with certain things. And I'm not talking about their belief in God, I'm talking about their belief in family. I've had Malik Obama over here, I had a whole bunch of other people over here from Africa. Just had someone here from Angola. They said all their, moms and dads are together. It's like 3% divorce rate.
Oh, wow.
3%.
That's pretty.
So for all the racists out there who think this is a black issue, it's not. It's the United States of America, maybe Canada and European issue. It's not a black issue. It is actually a cultural issue here. I'm going to word my things a little carefully here. By money, the richest in America is either Indians, Sikhs, or Jews. At the very, very bottom is African Americans. And the reason they're at the very bottom is because there's no men raising the kids. It's because in the African American community, you basically have women raising kids out of wedlock 78%, and that is exactly why you have poverty. That chain needs to stop. That needs to stop. Now, I'm not going to have too much of an issue over here about abortion because that can be very touchy. People might get very touchy. But I will ask this. Peyton, do you think it's okay for women to go around and have abortions once a year just because they're out there like that?
No, absolutely not.
5, do you think it's okay for women to go out there and, just sleep around and then go to abortion clinics every 1 year, be like, oh, whatever?
Of course not.
Okay. A lot of women in America would disagree with you because abortion, there's about 1 million aborted babies every single year.
I think it's a money issue.
Explain.
Because me being a woman, and I could be projecting my own belief, which I am.
Shoot.
You're asking about it.
Shoot.
If the woman was being provided for, or if she had a man, or she felt like she's being taken care of, she's not gonna go and consider, which is a huge consideration to have an abortion. She's not gonna consider that, and she's not gonna consider it multiple times. It's money.
Okay, let's say you're right. A woman gets in a situation like that, and she gets an abortion because there's no man around. She doesn't want to raise a beta male. Blah blah blah. Okay, we get it. How many times is she supposed to do stuff like that?
Supposed to do what?
Go to get an abortion over and over and over.
Never, ideally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you, ladies. Cherish what you have, because no matter how pretty the car, if it has high miles, it's not really worth the same value, is it?
In your spirit and soul as a woman, in my opinion, I think your sexual energy is the most
Sacred?
important thing you have. Yeah. The most important thing you have as a woman, 100%.
When it comes down to kids, I'm like, when I was growing up, I didn't even know what gay people were. I mean, when I was like 13, 14, I didn't know I didn't know any of that stuff. I didn't know any of it. Now you have porn everywhere, and I think pornography is like a quick fix for a lot of men, so they don't actually go out there and try to have a relationship with a woman, and I think that fucks up society.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
It's no coincidence there's only 2 things free in the world: porn and vaccines. I mean, it is what it is, and one's gonna kill you a lot slower than the other. But at the end of the day, pornography needs to get banned. OnlyFans needs to get banned. All this stuff, there's something really wrong when some broad can take off her clothes with naked pictures and make millions upon millions a month. Yet people who built this, people who built the roads, are earning minimum wage and can't like even afford child support. There's something fundamentally wrong with the country when something goes like that. And it all starts with the root cause. Family, family, family. You need someone to raise the kids. So I don't think much of men nowadays. I really don't. I'm being dead serious. I mean, I never thought much of women as a whole, with few exceptions. But when it comes to, I'm being real. You know how I am.
Yeah.
Well, I'm being real. Okay, I like being around intelligent women. So again, that's slim pickings, slim fucking pickings. But guess what? And to be honest, these guys ain't very intelligent either. Cause you guys are mostly playing stupid games all day. You guys are not actually doing anything to better yourself in life. Let me tell you something. You don't know what the fuck true love is until you have a kid. Am I wrong?
No, definitely.
Okay, this is my wife of 20 years. You do not know what true love is until you have a kid. Okay? I'm being dead serious. My wife is telling you the same thing here.
I agree.
Okay? And by the way, men, when you look for women, the number one quality you look for in a woman, can you guess? Go ahead and guess.
Intelligence.
No. Man's supposed to be intelligent one. If a woman's intelligent, it helps.
So I was gonna ask you about that, but I've seen something that says that the children inherit their mom's intelligence. What do you think about that?
I think they inherit a lot from the mother. I'm not sure if that's the main thing they inherit. But it's possible. I mean, sometimes I think it skips a generation. Sometimes it goes from the grandmother.
On like which I've seen this, I haven't studied it, but it's in a DNA, from a DNA standpoint, that's what they say. That the maternal intelligence is.
When I look at people, I look at basically 3 factors: numerology, astrology, their environment, and genetics.
So what's the number one thing for women that you should look for?
A good mother. Number 2, loyalty. Because you want to make sure even if anything ever bad happens, she's going to take care of the kids.
And how can you tell she's going to be a good mom? What are a couple
Numerology
of
and
things?
astrology. It always goes back to that. It always does. I knew she'd be an excellent mother, and that's exactly what she is.
Based off of the numbers?
Of course.
So what about women who have, let's just say, less favorable numbers for motherhood?
Yeah, I pass. I pass. Now, my main priority is family.
Right.
My main priority is kids. If your main priority is something different, then that's something you look for. That's the beauty of life. Everyone's looking for something else. But if you want to have a stable society, more people need to inherit, I want to have a family. Because if you want to have a family, then you don't have to worry about all those guys running around and having trophy this, look what I'm doing here, look what I'm doing here. And let's not forget, most of the people who are buying programs like that, like I'm going to be a pimp, I'm going to be a player, they're pretty much that same category of men we're talking about, simps. They're spending money on women who they're going to get nothing from. They have zero chance. Zero. Absolutely none. You would do a lot better reading about finance, getting some money, so then you might be able to at least attract a woman from that angle. Personally, I always knew I was going to be rich. I mean, I told you that from day one. But
How
so
did
does
you know
everyone.
that?
Numerology and astrology always goes back to that with me. But then again, I got one of those attitudes where I'm just going to make it happen.
Right.
They canceled me so many times and now I'm more popular than ever. So, saying a big fuck you to big tech, that makes me happy. Hell yeah. Remember, you saw how mad I got when they used to suspend me over and over and over. Oh, baby, they took another account. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, it's not just like other people when you lose an account. I'm actually losing money by losing those accounts. And we're not talking about 10 or 100 or 1,000. We're talking about real money. So, again, some people would back off and they wouldn't do what I did. And I would probably encourage most people, if you're in my position, to back off, especially if you have family and kids. Me, I'm a little different because I already know what my future is. It's kind of like set in stone. So I will push and I will keep pushing because someone has to. At the end of the day, everyone has a different role to play. Some of you out there listening right now, you're not meant to be great. You're going to have to accept that. But guess what? Some of you out there are going to have kids and they're going to be fucking great. And your fucking role in life is to make sure you raise them properly. My dad, he did Mission Impossible. My dad literally did Mission Impossible. In 1972 or something like that, he immigrated from the Soviet Union to America. You talk about stuff like that didn't happen. It never happened, stuff like that. And then my mom came over here, and then I was born here. And because I was born in this great capitalistic nation, son of a poor immigrant was able to actually do something in life. But you know what? I'm not gonna lie, I was privileged. And not because of this, never because of that white skin. I was privileged because I had a mom and a dad. And because I had a mom and a dad, that set me on the foundation, no matter how poor I was, to actually accomplish things. And that is how important it is for men out there to actually go out there and provide enough for their women to basically pursue what they want in life.
Can I ask you something about
Yes.
marriage?
Yes.
So there's been in my life, a lot of arguments against commitment from the male saying, well, the divorce rate is 50%, why wouldn't I be part of that stat? A lot of males are talking about, they're basically accepting the fact that it's going to fail, so they're not going to do it. And you guys are obviously an exception. So what's the counter argument against that?
Do your job and there won't be any issues.
Right.
I think that if a woman has to go to work and has to provide, it hardens her up.
Absolutely.
It makes her more masculine.
Yeah.
So you take her out of that environment, you pop a couple kids, and you're not going to have those issues. And, I'm just telling you what it is. If a man actually does what he's supposed to, a woman's not going to become all masculine, because a lot of these women who are divorcing, they're working full time. Man ain't providing enough. So hell yeah, they're getting pissed off. Now I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying anyone should leave. But here's the thing. She married me when I was broke, but she knew I had potential. It worked out. It worked out. You took a good gamble, girl. Okay, it was a good gamble. It was definitely a gamble. Like, who the hell is going to believe someone's going to be a numerologist? Seriously. Do you remember how crazy people thought I was? They sit there and say, "You're crazy. You're never going to do this. Stop smoking crack." That's what they would tell me all the time. And I'll be like, "Listen, man, I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. I'm going to get it done." And that's how the attitude men have to have. I don't give a fuck what you do. And by the way, I understand some people like it when you're humble. I can be humble. I can try. Look at my wife laughing at me. This is definitely gonna be a clip. I'm talking about being humble and my wife's laughing at me. This is that's perfect. Thank you, baby. I got you out here for a reason. But most people don't like humble when it comes down to their men. They want their men to be confident. They want their men to basically know what they want. I'm going to tell you how I do it in my marriage. She decides 65% of the stuff.
Really?
Yeah, 65% of the stuff she decides.
About the kids?
Yeah, but what where the kids are gonna go, what they're gonna wear, stuff like that. Pick the house, every stuff like that. What kind of car they want. When it comes down to big decisions, we're moving down to Florida. I decided she's been telling me she wants to come down here for years. It wasn't until I decided it was time to go that we go.
Right.
And by the way, when I said it was time to go, how long did I give you? A week? 2 weeks?
About
2 weeks. So imagine we're living somewhere and I'm just telling you, yo, 2 weeks and we're moving. And by the way, it's been a very successful decision.
Yeah.
Okay?
Looks like it.
I came down here. I told people I was going to take over the internet. I told people exactly what I was going to do. And I got like 400 or 500 million views. Because I made a decision that I was going to... And by the way, there's a lot of work that went in that decision. You remember going to Vegas?
Yeah.
You remember me having that thing with all the influencers? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of work that came into this. Nothing just happens overnight. And by the way, I'm blackballed on a lot of these other places, so I have to do it myself. But that's the beauty of it. If you believe in yourself, and you're actually intelligent, because a lot of people can believe in themselves and they're still dumbasses, they're not going to be able to do anything. But if you believe in yourself and you have some intelligence, you can get it done. Agreed?
Agree. You know what's interesting is that you have such a successful marriage, and you say that she makes about 65% of the decisions, when most of I'm going to refer to Twitter again. Most of the guys on Twitter think that the woman needs to submit totally to the man.
No.
Oh, like, I'm going to make all the decisions.
Why would I want to make all the decisions?
Yeah, let him know.
What?
So much work.
She's going to the grocery store. She's deciding what we're getting. What am I telling her what to do? What do you think? I decide what kind of sheets we have? I mean, seriously. She's making the decisions. I'm buying it, obviously, but she's making the decisions.
Right.
Okay? But when it comes to big stuff, the man decides. And as long as you have that stipulation, you're not going to have a problem. Let the woman decide on most of the stuff. What do you even need those headaches for? For what reason?
Oh, that's
I don't
refreshing to hear.
I don't need those headaches. Men, sometimes it's 55, 60, whatever, somewhere in that range. She's making most of the decisions. Okay? Because even when the President of the United States comes into a position of power, he's not making most of the decisions. The bureaucracy is making most of the decisions. Mm-hmm. The deep state's he's making the major decisions. Oh, we're going to war. That's the president. Oh, what kind of carpet we're having, what kind of car we're buying, what color this is. No. There has to be divided roles. And by the way, the woman's going to influence the kids at a younger age much more than the man is. It's as when the man gets older, then he gets a hold of the kids, and then he's supposed to do his thing. At the very beginning, the woman's supposed to nurture for the kids. And by the way, who do you think's going to do a better job raising your kids? A daycare center? Minimum wage workers at a daycare center, they're going to take care of your kids?
That's a terrifying thought.
No. The same workers who've been vaccinated? The same workers who might vaccinate your people? No. The bottom line, Peyton, men have to make enough money to take care of their woman. If they take care of their woman, then she's most likely not going to cheat on them. She's most likely going to be more feminine because she doesn't have to work. But if she's going to be out there in that grind, that's masculine stuff, right?
So what kind of guys call women gold diggers if they want a man to provide for them?
There is a difference between a gold digger and a woman who wants someone to provide. Let me give you an example. If you're chasing men because they have a $200,000-300,000 car, that might be a little bit different. Because those guys are getting those cars as a honeypot for women.
Right.
Okay? Now, if you basically want to have kids, you damn well better be sure your guy can provide for those kids. I got married in 04. We didn't have a kid until 2013. Why? Because I couldn't afford a kid until 2013. Well, I'm gonna keep it real. Oh, having fun too, baby. Okay, having a lot of fun. Okay, but again, I couldn't really afford a kid until later in life. Just keeping it real. And once I had a kid, and then it was full pedal. Got to do what you got to do. Men have to provide. Now, when it comes to women being a gold digger, yeah, you better make sure your guy can provide. But if the only thing you're looking for in life is a multi-millionaire, he's gonna cheat on you. If you women out there just looking for a multi-millionaire worth 10, 50 off top, of course he's gonna cheat on you. He's not there to commit. You gotta find someone and struggle with them. As you get that struggle, you bind more. Very simple. If you find someone who's rich off top, as a man, they're most likely gonna cheat on you.
But will he provide?
Yeah. That's why you gotta be like you. Pick a good one.
It's not always so lucky. So
yeah, well, I wasn't lucky either.
You gotta
listen. If you women are as good as that women intuition thing as you guys say you are, intuitively pick the right one. I mean, people know when they're with the right person and they're the wrong person. They intuitively know.
Unless they're on birth control.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Birth control.
It affects the way that you are attracted to somebody, and it affects the way
that's
that
what
you're
I
in touch
heard.
with your body and your
Okay.
hormones.
Ask her if she's ever been on birth control.
Have you ever been on
No.
birth control?
No. Women.
Me neither.
Women.
Dab me up.
Okay, and let me say this to guys: if you are requiring your woman to take birth control so you don't have to pull out, you're a soft dude. If you're requiring your woman to, could you imagine me telling you to take birth control so I could have more fun?
That's unhealthy. I wouldn't do it.
This is nuts. And of course these women are fucked up in the head if they're taking birth control too, getting fucking plastic surgery over here and getting enhanced silicone in them. Of course they're gonna be fucked up in the head. But if you guys are out there saying, yo, I can't pull out, I'm old school, I'm not wearing condoms, and you can't pull out and you get her pregnant, and because you don't want to get her pregnant, you're gonna force her to take birth control? No, you're a piece of fucking shit in my mind. And again, I'm not a hypocrite. I got a witness here. I got a witness here. I'm not a hypocrite. Some of you people need to really check yourself. As men and as women too. Now, if you're just looking for someone, you know, there are some people who just look for people, don't give a fuck if they're going to cheat on them. They just want to be with someone who's successful. There's some people are like that. You're a whore. If you are. I mean, if you're willing to sell your body like that, it is what it is. But some people just won't sell out. Some people, morality and their souls mean a lot more to them than other people, I guess. Anything to add, baby?
Well, you said everything, so.
And by the way, guys, and ladies, listen up. I'm just gonna make this clear. If a guy is buying you like gold, and he buys you 14K gold, kick that motherfucker to the curb. Okay? 14K gold is garbage. Okay? You need at least 18 to 22. At least.
22, baby.
No, but there you go.
22, yes, 22.
But no, 24 is just too pure. You can't have gold like that. That's the Canadian. If you want 24, Chinese panda.
No, Vietnamese
Yeah.
have jewelry.
24?
Yeah.
Anyways, listen. Get some 22 to 18 or the guy's no good, man. I just had to put the 22 in there.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we had an interesting discussion. Unlike most shows, and we'll do some stuff like the other people do as well, but I want to keep everything fair and balanced, and I want to call the guys out on this one. Don't sit there and bitch about your woman being fucking crazy. Listen, they're all emotional. They're all a little messed up in the head. I don't care who I'm sitting with, okay? They all get emotional. That's how they are, okay? But if all you guys out here are saying, oh, women are this much and more emotional, you want them to pop birth control too? So they're saying you guys are emotional, but then they're telling you, yo, baby, take this too. What the fuck? And then you ask why they're bipolar and shit. Come on, man. You don't want a woman to be masculine. Oh no, we want a feminine woman. Yet they're telling you, split the check.
Yeah.
I'm being dead serious. They'll tell you, oh, no. You pay half the rent. What kind of alpha male tells you to pay half the rent?
Don't know.
No. There have been years back in the day where I was like, yo, baby, I'm broke. I need to borrow. That's hasn't happened in like 15 years. But they're like, yo, baby, I need to borrow like 500. I'll get you back, promise. Okay? There's been days like that decades ago. But at the end of the day, listen, guys, if you can't take care of your woman, if you can't pay for it, and again, if you're young, I get it. Okay? We're not bashing young people here.
Yeah.
If you're at my age and you can't do, woo, tell them again, baby. Oh no, you're done. Done like dinner. Anyways, this has been a GG33 production. Wrap it up.